Guys, I gotta be honest with you. It's really hard to make videos. It's not hard actually to come up with the idea for videos. Today, I came up with like 10 ideas that were every bit along the same lines as this. Basically, just a big data dump of all the stories and the information that I want to give you guys. To help put your performance together, so that you can learn how to get the best performance, give the best performance that you can give, and you'll get that information through these videos. And my goal is that by the time the 30th video here is done and published, the course will be ready, and it'll be putting together even more information in an outline from the starting point to the finish line. And it'll show you exactly how to get there and how to put together your stories and your scripts for your performance, so that you can master the process yourself. So it's not hard coming up with the ideas for the content. It's hard to find the time to make the content. Believe it or not, that's not it's not what I thought. I thought I was going to be able to batch them out a little bit quicker than I am, but other stuff keeps coming up, and I get bumped. So I gotta use my discipline, which we're going to dive into. I made a note here that said it's hard to make videos when stuff pops up in life, and that's the absolute truth. And you know, you're not going to make it until you do it. And to do it, you need. I made a note here. You need a belief, and you need a win. To get it, and that makes you want to keep doing it. But until then, until you can get that dopamine release from the wins, you need something to get you there. You need a vehicle, a horse, a train. You know, um, you need something to get you there, and that vehicle that you can use is discipline. Put it in your calendar. I got a calendar up right there. I'm always looking at the calendar. Put it in your calendar. Make it part of your day, and make that part of your discipline. Regardless of how I'm not great at videos, but regardless how good at videos you are or how bad at videos you are, the only way you're going to get better is to do more videos. And over time, you'll just like walking, like everything else in life, which is, there's this cool story, and I'm gonna feel like Tim the Toolman Taylor. He always tried to repeat like wise things that his neighbor Wilson would tell him, and he would always botch the story. I'm kind of like that with my storytelling, but I'm gonna get you to the right story. So if you want to hear about this story, go ahead and Google what I'm about to tell you. So you're gonna just Google study about rats that were put in the water and taught that waiting would bring rescue. And you do that, and you'll have tons of links of the study pop up. But the idea behind this is that these rats, they just needed a win. So what they did is they took like a dozen rats, they put them in the water. I said, okay, we're going to start a timer when the first rat dies from drowning, and then we're going to stop the timer when the last rat dies. And let's just say it was, I'm just making a number up. Let's say it was like, you know, um, 30 minutes and 40 minutes. So the first rat died at mark 30, minute 30. The last rat died at, minute 40. So they know they have that margin. They put, let's say, 10 more rats, 10 more groups of rats through that test, and they all had the same margins. So they know that if they wait 29 minutes, all the rats are going to be alive, and they're going to scoop them all out, bring them to safety. They're going to let them relax, and they're going to give them food and let them get nice and happy. And once they're out, they're going to pick them back up, and they're going to put them in that water. And this time at that 29-minute mark, the rats, they're waiting to get picked up and get all that good food all over again, but it doesn't happen. They don't get them. Uh, they don't get them at all, and they take that group, and they let the timer run again. These rats have been conditioned to wait, and you'll get saved. And they made it past that mark, that 29-minute mark. All of them made it past that, and then they all made it past the 40-minute mark, which was the max that a rat had made it. So they all made it past that, you know. And it was like 3 hours into it. and all of those rats then died. So they reran this test. They reran this test all over again. That's somebody calling in to me. Sorry if you can hear that. But if you can't, no worries. We're going to go regardless. So these new sets of rats, they bring in new groups of rats and they condition them all the same way up to the point where those rats are going to drown at the 3 hour mark. But they pull them out at 2.5 hours. So again, they have 0 dead rats, you know. And what they did is they could get those rats to go when they kept performing that test. They could get those rats to tread water for over 24 hours. And that's a real test. Go ahead and look it up, you know, on Google. I'm going to have some of my times off and whatnot, but you'll get the idea behind the story. I'm not making any of that up. But the point being that sometimes you just need a win. You know, and if you have that win, you get that warm meal that makes you feel cozy. You get that closing or that prospect that gives you an appointment from that new marketing method you brought into place. That gives you the endorphins to go forward and do it again. But until that, you need belief, you know, and you need discipline. So have the belief that your system will work, and have the discipline to follow it every day. If you can do that, there's almost no way you can fail. Prospecting solves 99% of your problems in this business. So anyway, I wish you the best luck. I hope you got something out of the video. Like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you next time.